I've been getting the same questions. Hey, Mike, is it a good time to sell? Stay tuned. Hi, everyone. This is Mike Saki for Selling East Bay and coming to you with another video on our local real estate market. And this video is specifically on selling and not buying. Also, I want to just clarify a few things because in the past, I have gotten emails from various parts of the nation and the states, Florida, Arizona, Las Vegas, and those questions are basically about, what people hear in a video or watch on a video, and they assume that all markets are the same. Real estate is local. I want to make sure you understand, and let me bring up the map that the videos I'm making is about our local real estate market, which is in the East Bay from San Francisco. And I am an active broker in the Berkeley, La Morinda area, Walnut Creek to Danville, San Ramon, and Pleasanton. This is the areas I'm active in as a broker. And most of the videos that I have been making is about this geographic area. That's where I work. So therefore, I understand this market very well. That's why I put out videos on. So now going back to the presentation. So in the future, if you have a question, please specify where you are from, because the email does not say anything. And sometimes I stop really answering the question because I don't know if they're from the Bay Area or from some other part of the nation. And that would be really a no-no for me to answer something I don't know about. So let's move on with this video. I just want to make sure get this out of the way that when we are talking about local real estate, the local real estate is basically we're talking about the Bay Area next to San Francisco on the West Coast. So I want to just start this video to clarifying a few things that this, as I said, is a video on the selling environment because the questions that I've been receiving based on selling. And I will make another video in regard to buying if it's a good time to buy. And this video is only on selling again. Now, if you need any other information, my contact info is on the slide. You can use that and email me or text me or call me. It's all good. No problem there. So the first slide that I want to share with you, I want to clarify a few things in regard who are the buyers, who are the sellers at this point, and gives you a roadmap for the rest of the video. So we will discuss, the difference between the big money and the small money or just the street money. And identifying these two parties is very important because the intentions are not the same. So what the big money does is not the same, as a street money. And I want to talk about the churn, which is a term coming from the stock market, and it has to do the cost averaging of buying or selling, and that refers to what will happen in our real estate market, local, and I would say even regional, when it comes to real estate becoming more attractive to the big money when the stock market traction loses, significance. So the next thing I want to talk about would be about what to do as a homeowner. I mean, you own your own property, you build some equity over time, and you want to make sure that you are basically just, going through this pandemics and the COVID-19 crisis without losing your money or house. The other question that I have gotten from small investors, we are talking about people who they have their own personal residence. They might have a few investment properties like single families or duplex or fourplexes. They want to know how this crisis and the recession will affect them. Should they do anything with those investments? Should they just let them go, sell them now? And if they do sell them, when is a good time to sell? And the biggest portion of the population that I think it will be very questionable what to do with the belongings in terms of real estate and other investments. We're talking about baby boomers. Are they supposed to accelerate retirement plans, sell current home and downsize, or move out of a state? First of all, I want to clarify, I'm not a financial advisor. You really need to consult your accountant, your financial advisor, depending where you are within your retirement plans on that timeline. Uh, Many things affect. It's not about the property, if you're selling it now or if you buy something else in a state that you can buy a property cheaper. It's about the whole of your investments that you're having involved in the markets, your bank accounts and everything else. I am sure that you're aware of it and you don't have to tell you that. But my stipulation here is that I'm not a financial advisor, but what I can tell you is, in regard to real estate, I can give you some tentative understanding. If you were to sell, what would be the best plan and how to approach it in the next 6 months, 12 months, or 24 months. Okay? So, as I said, we are talking about the selling environment and not buying environment. We are considering this as a selling environment and what to do. So let's talk about how the big money wealth transfer affects the residential real estate in the next 24 months, because this is the bulk of the transfer where big money, like we're talking about pension funds, insurance companies, hedge funds, investment banks, come in and buy into the real estate market. The way they do it, I will explain in the next slide, but I want to just make sure that you have understanding who are the other players. We are also talking about a small group of buyers who were still, in process of thinking about buying, and their income expectancy have not changed from 2019 to 2020. They still have their jobs. They just put their plans, they're postponing them for buying because of the COVID-19 crisis, and they want to make sure, see how things go. And the money's there. They have a job. And they don't have any gap in their work history, and everything is good. They're just waiting to make a decision what to buy as they go forward in time. Okay. Now, the street money is basically all of us. The small money, the small guy with the small pockets. We own a residential property, we own a condo, we own a townhouse, and you're looking at a small investment you did in the beginning when you bought the property, like your equity, and I mean in terms of down payment plus your equity at this point, and you want to make sure that you end up keeping most of it and some more after this recession. So those are actually very important questions for you to answer, and I hope that I'll be able to just give you some info in regard to that. So the picture below, or the few cartoon characters I put there, it should give you the understanding of small cartoonish character here. That's all of us, the street money, the small money, and all these wealth is transferred basically to just a bit bigger buyers, and the big buyers like the pension funds and the insurance companies, who basically invest not in individual properties, but there are other vehicles that they invest money in order to get dividends. That dividends is based on the underlying instrument, which is real estate, and I will show you this in the next slide as well. So we identified the two different groups, the big money and the street money, who is buying in a situation that we are, in terms of they have the big pockets to come in, and they're not worried about when they buy, because the intentions are different. The intentions are in terms of securing clients' money, or making sure that they have less exposure to the market fluctuations and volatility, and they lose appetite in investing or keep investing in the stock market at some point. So let's look at this chart. I will explain what it means really. The orange line, the graph, is basically the S&P, which is a good indicator of the economy across the board as an indicator. And the blue line is actually the graph is for the US REITs, which stands for Real Estate Investment Trust. They're basically vehicles for these are big corporations that they buy or invest in big complexes, apartment buildings, and they manage them and they turn them into money-making machine. And therefore, whoever just buys those shares within those companies, they get a dividend. It's like a rental that you get your rent as an income. So they get, but they don't do anything. You just buy into those companies, and the company's obligations who create these REITs, they are obligated to provide you dividends based on the money you put in. And those become attractive, among other things, when the stock market loses traction in general. So in 2008, if you look at this, after the 2008 recession, the orange graph, which signifies the S&P, so it started just not going up anymore. And that's when I'm talking about just the churn start to happen. This is called the cost averaging investment. They are not worried about if they're buying houses and apartment buildings and buying into REITs here or here or here. They want to make sure they are participating in this buying process because they are basically transferring funds, and the intention is to make sure that the funds stay at a low risk. That's what they are doing. And if you see the correlation between the blue line, those huge managed apartment buildings and complexes with dividends back to the shareholders, and the S&P 500, you see that there is a correlation. As it comes down, the REITs graph goes up until it comes to a steady flow over here. So this should be give you a good understanding of how it works, because as the stock market loses traction, the big money start investing money in real estate in big, huge apartment complexes and projects that they provide them dividends, as well investing money at the same time in precious metals and staple stock baskets. I am not a financial advisor, and please, you need to talk to your own financial advisor in regard to any of this. I'm not providing any advice on investment. That's not what it is for. This is just an illustration how all this affects the local real estate market. So, and this is where we are. We are in the churn time, when we will see, as we go forward in the next 6-12 months, we see this churn time happening, and the transfer of wealth from some real estate, from some stocks and non-performing stocks, or some stocks that they are not just going to the moon. Those investors will take the monies and put them in some other asset classes. One of them is the real estate investment trust space, which basically is using apartment buildings and complexes as a way of, just investing in. And also the money, as I said, goes into precious metals investments and staple stock baskets. Now, I think I gave you the picture of how it works with how the big money operates in the times that we are in right now. That's where we are now. Everything you see here right now in 2019 and to 2020 right now, we're experiencing the same thing. We are looking at a lot of overhedging on stocks that they should not be as expensive. Like Tesla at this point in August should not be around $1,500 a share. Not establishing the fact that they are coming out with a new model, or they created or invented or bringing out a new battery technology. It is basically a cross-hedging, trying to make sure that the money is safe in a stock that is more stable. Now, the next slide is on the concept of to look at it, which of these individual class of buyers and sellers, in our case actually sellers, if you're a seller, how would that affect you in terms of your bottom line? Now, we need to talk about homeowners, individual homeowners. We're talking about small real estate investors who own a few properties, and the baby boomers. Now, as I said before, if you are a homeowner, I am sure that you want to make sure that you be able to stay in your property and you pay your mortgage and you might not be in a position to do that. Hopefully you are, but in case you are having hardship time, and you're looking at a problem of because you don't have a job, or you are at home, not allowed to go to work because of COVID-19, or you don't have enough equity in your house because you bought the property really with a low, small investment as in terms of your down payment when you got into your real estate investment as your personal property. So you want to know what to do. Now, keep in mind, if you live in your own home, even if you were to sell that property in the next 6 months because of the financial hardship, you still have to live someplace. So, and that means it means a smaller place, or you have to go and rent. So you still have to shell out some monthly payment for that. So it's not a win-win situation, but my objective is to clarify that for you, what it is that you have to do if you are facing hardship right now, financial hardship, if you can just move forward and have some plans in place for the next 6 months, 12 months, and 24 months when it comes to your own personal property. So, but if you were to sell any property, I say that again, regardless of what property, I think you do command a better price point in the next 6 months up to the 2020 elections, because we still have a low inventory in our local area. Again, we are talking about East Bay Area, local real estate. And there's still a lot of big pockets around to pay for those properties. If you are a small investor, meaning you have your own personal residence you live in, now you had some money, you bought a few properties, you own your first investment property or your second investment property, or you own a few buildings, you need to really just to talk to your accountant and figure out the numbers at the back end. Meaning, is there a way to reduce your interest rate on your mortgages? Is there a way to maybe improve your properties right now because labor is cheap? There are a lot of people that they would want to work cheaper to upgrade your properties for a higher rental income. Or maybe you bought it on a shoestring budget and when the money was tight, but you wanted to buy investment property and you put in the minimum, and now you don't have money to spend on upgrading for a strategy to invest to get more money once you're done with the upgrades as a higher income cash flow, and you think about maybe just I want to get rid of them. So again, if you're thinking about selling and that selling idea won't change in the next 12 months, you're probably getting a better price point for any property you put on the market now until 2020 elections because of the low inventory and big local pockets that they would want to invest in properties. Now, again, what happens after elections, I think that a lot of people just might have ideas, but nobody really knows. Now, the next group of people who kind of real estate falls into one corner of the baskets of investments, we're talking about baby boomers. So please talk to your financial advisor, your accountant, because depending where you are on the timeline with your retirement, the question becomes, should I accelerate, my retirement plans? Should I sell or downsize or move to a different state? Those are all valid questions, and you need to find answer from the right people, and you have to talk to a few people. Your financial advisor, your social security advisor, depending on where you are on the timeline, if you're 65, 60, 67, or 70, the amount of money you will get on your social security, as you know, varies. And of course, the longer you wait for retirement, the more money you will get in terms of monthly payment of your social security checks. So those questions are really unique and based on who you are as an individual on that timeline. But again, if you had plans to move out of a state, you have plans to sell and you were just waiting to work another 2 years in Bay Area and then move out, and those plans sort of stopped basically because everything else has stopped because of COVID-19 crisis. So you are trying to accelerate those plans. So, and selling your property was one of those, items on your plan. So then again, I would say considering to get a higher price point for your property in the next 6 months, it's much more feasible than thinking above and beyond that, because I do think that there are other aspects of this postponement of foreclosure fees and the forbearance status that was provided to a lot of homeowners who were not able to pay the monthly mortgage payments will just postpone the problem and push it into the future. So it means we will see the ricochet of this freeze in the next 12 to 18 months, I would say. So I would say that if the question is, if I sell now, and if you had the intention to sell as a baby boomer, you might want to consider talk to the right people, see if that works in your plan to do it in the next 6 months. Okay? Now, again, I wanted to put this in a kind of comprehensive or cohesive slide that you can see what I mean. So look at your real estate related decisions in steps. So have a short and a long-term plan. Plan for until 2020 elections. If you really wanted to sell, as I said, the market in our local area is still in a good shape. Some properties get even multiple offers. They don't stay on the market listed for more than 10 to 15 days. And that's a good thing, because you do, as somebody who's selling now, commands more as a price point for your property. Have a short-term plan, like in the next 12 months, and look where you will be in the next 24 months. And depending if you're a baby boomer, or if you're somebody, you're 40 years old and you're still working in the Bay Area and you have a job, that decision might be different in regard to your real estate investments. Okay, so if you have any questions and you think that I have not answered in this time to sell video, please just go ahead and just email me. You can email me, contact me on the phone, or text me. All good, but please specify in regard to what market. So if you're saying, hey, yeah, should I sell or should I do this? I live in Arizona, or I live in Pleasanton, I live in Berkeley. So I would love to know that, because I get much more better answer to you that you could just look at it in a way of, I can use that information, than other just being a kind of a general answer that is waste of time on both sides. Okay. I just want to say, stay healthy, be safe, wear a mask. Where we are in Contra Costa, that's at this point an ordinance. We have to wear a mask. So I'm glad I'm sitting at home and doing this video for you. Okay, you guys have a wonderful day, and thanks for watching the video. And please subscribe and be part of my email list. I will send these videos out to you if you push the bell icon, and you'll be notified as I get them out to you. I do make several videos nowadays every week, and I will get them to you as soon as they are ready. Okay, thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye.